Hi, Kai Jacobson here for Ionways. I want to talk today about taxes and how that can really help you build your business. It's an incredible thing having a home-based business, and by having a home-based business, we get to write so many things off. And it's an incredible way to really help sell our product. Because one of the biggest objections that we get is, wow, that's a great unit. I totally want one, but they're $2,100. That's really expensive. And what I like to say to people at that point is, well, it's only 35 cents a day. And we can go into that whole thing about why it's so reasonable over 20 years. And then people say, well, I'll give you 35 cents. Would you give me one? And we say, sure. But you're going to have to wait 20 years before we deliver the unit. And they go, well, that's kind of a little too long for me. And so we can play with that a lot. But one of the surefire ways, a whole nother direction that you can go, is to say, how about if I show you how to get your machine absolutely free? And if you're paying $5,000 a month in taxes, or $10,000 in taxes, or even more here in the United States, many people pay quite a bit more. If you're paying about $5,000 of taxes, we can show you pretty much how to save a couple $1,000s on that by having a home-based business and being involved in our program. If it's $10,000, we can help you save $4,000, maybe $5,000. So you don't have to be making any money. You don't have to even be doing this really as a very aggressive business. It can be for the benefit of the tax write-off. So all of a sudden the product becomes free. And if I say, hey, if I can show you how to get your product free by saving that much money on taxes, people go, well, that's interesting. And the way that you do it is that you sign up to be a distributor, a member of Ionways, and by having a home-based business, now so many things are write-offs that weren't before. Such as, let's say you just even go on a vacation with your family. You like to go on a vacation every year. Guess what? If you take a couple brochures with you and you share the idea about this water with some of the people on your vacation, when let's say you go to Hawaii or wherever you want to go, and you're talking to people at the dinner table or around the pool or whatever, and you hand out a brochure or a DVD and say, hey, have you heard about ionized water? And you just do that a little bit, and you're talking to people just in sharing that, and which you'll make some sales just because it is an incredible product, and you'll have a really good story by having a unit yourself. You can write off the plane tickets. The plane tickets are 100% tax deductible now for you and your whole family, especially, if your kids are helping you do that. And if your kids lick a stamp and put it on an envelope, they're all of a sudden an employee of your business for taxes. And there's up to $3,000 you can write off on your taxes by having an employee, such as your child, as long as they're licking a couple stamps a month and you send maybe a couple postcards out, promoting this as a business. Let's say you send 5 out, it's all of a sudden they're an employee, and that's a legitimate tax write-off. There are many other things, the cost of your gas when you're driving places. As long as you're maybe leaving a brochure or a business card or just doing the very minimum but basic needs, it's a total tax write-off. And so what's so beautiful about that, in the course of a year, that unit now costs your customer absolutely nothing. And they might start having so much fun with this as a business, they might start actually really making some money. And some of them will turn into some great business builders because, wow, it's just a great business opportunity attached to the benefit of a tax write-off. So we feel that life is much funner when it's tax deductible. Almost everything you do all of a sudden becomes a lot more fun. And the unit will more than pay for itself many times over in your tax deductions. So that's kind of a fun little angle to play with. Of course, it's a great business in its own right. You don't have to just be worried about taxes, but it's a surefire technique to take away the objection of, well, it's expensive. And you say, well, how about free, and actually turn into a profit by just paying much less taxes.